Perry was saying today you guys completed your coaching staff. What can you say about your first staff?
I'm very excited. We definitely, it took a while, obviously, try to check every box. Personalities, relationships with players, relating to players on their level was something important. And also just for me, obviously, being a first-time manager, surrounding myself with good baseball people that are loyal, that are hardworking, that are committed to getting the players better. That was really important to me. And with the staff that we've hired, we feel like we've checked every box, and I couldn't be more excited going into my first season.
How about with Brady Anderson in particular? He obviously had a good career and worked with some guys individually, but hasn't really been a hitting coach. What convinced you that he's ready for this?
Yeah, I actually talked to Brady a lot, and we talked. I know our front office talked to Brady a lot. We discussed some things, and we were very excited with what he had to say. Just being around him a little bit now, just his personality, we feel like how his ability to relate to players on that level. I know he did some stuff with the Orioles and that he talked about. So, moving forward, I feel like he's definitely going to be good. And like I told him, I said, hey, the reason why I hired you, I think you're going to be the best. And I truly believe that just after talking to him. And I talked to him, I feel like he's the one guy I talk to pretty much every day. We talk about things. He's easy to talk to, and, we have a good time.
How about on the pitching side? Obviously bringing in a veteran like Mike Maddox, how helpful is that?
Yeah, that's going to be huge. Obviously, with my background being a catcher, that was one of the most important ones for me. And having the experience that Mike has next to me, whether it's helping me run the bullpen, helping with these young players, these young pitchers that we feel very excited about having Mike give his expertise to these guys, we feel like they're going to improve every single day, and that's important for us.
What have you thought of the moves so far? I guess the two big ones are Rodriguez and Manoah.
Yeah, very excited. Talked to both of them. They're both ready. They're both excited for the opportunity. Obviously, playing against Manoah. I haven't seen Rodriguez, but playing against Manoah, watching him compete, his mentality out there on the field is definitely what I like. Especially if I was a catcher, I would love having that on the mound. So he's exciting, and obviously Rodriguez. Everybody knows the talent that he has. Obviously dealt with some injuries, but talking to him, he's excited. He's in a good spot, and he's ready to go compete.
So was there a report out there about your former teammate Anthony Rendon maybe retiring and not playing next year? Have you talked to him much, and how's he doing?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, I've seen the stories out there. That's until the higher ups tell me otherwise. I'm going to be expecting him at spring training until told otherwise. But yes, I have talked to Anthony. Obviously, we have a personal relationship, being teammates in Washington, winning the World Series together. So we have a relationship on a personal level. Talk about family and all that type of stuff.
How about Mike Trout? Have you talked much with him about what he's doing health-wise, coming off his knee and everything like that?
Yeah, Mike's healthy. He's excited. He said he's ready to go. So obviously, a healthy Mike Trout is a good thing for us, right? So he sounds excited. I know he's enjoying time with the family and stuff, but definitely spoken to Mike.
Coach, we didn't ask you about yet, Max Stassi. You know him pretty well, and what do you think he can bring to helping Logan?
Yeah, I think me being around Stas, for the 2 years that I played here, was definitely very helpful into, having him come here with us. His knowledge that he has, and it's more of his, I call it an obsession he has with receiving, with catching, all the drills that he does. I mean, this guy never stops trying to learn, and I think having a young catcher in Logan is definitely going to help, having Stassi around. I think that's one of our biggest focuses. Obviously, both being catchers, his role. I'm excited to see what Stassi can do at Logan, and I know Stas. I've been talking to him too this offseason, and he's got all these plans and ideas that he wants to do with Logan, and I couldn't be more excited. He's ready.
Yeah, where does Logan need to improve? What are some of the things you kind of maybe want to try to work on with Logan?
Yeah, Logan's a special player. Obviously he's a young player. He's still learning, just like all of us when we were younger. You'll never stop learning, and I'm just excited for Logan to keep trying to get better. The guy is one of the hardest workers that I've been around. He wants to be better. He's determined to be better. And like I said, bringing Stassi aboard and watching what he can do with Logan, I'm really excited to see where Logan's going to go this year.
You obviously have, like you mentioned, a unique relationship with Red Dome, playing days, friendship. How complicated is that to navigate when you're in a position now like you are, and how does that influence kind of the conversation you have with him now? Do you think you have a better sense of the person maybe than recently?
Yeah, I think just talking with Anthony on a personal level, obviously my relationship with him on that level is special just because we were together for, I saw his first game in the big leagues. He saw my last game as a player in the big leagues. So it's a special relationship. And, we talk, when we talk, it's more about family, how's his kids doing. He actually came, we were in Texas watching my son play baseball. He came in, 1 year, watched my kids play. So we have that personal relationship, and, he understands business is business, it's baseball. Baseball is baseball. But at the end of the day, our relationship is special, and, I'm definitely, keep in touch with him personally.
How do you feel about your bullpen and how important is kind of the health of guys like Joyce and Stevenson?
Yeah, obviously health is key for any position, right? We're looking at some options going forward, and we definitely like some guys that we have right now going forward, and we're excited with what we have right now, but we're always looking for ways to get better. I know Perry is always looking for ways to get better, and until the roster's set, I know Perry's going to keep trying to look for ways to improve our ball club, and that's what I respect about Perry, and I love it. He's always looking for ways to get better.
How confident are you that there can be some significant additions to
I think you're always confident, right? Until you're not, I think you're always confident, and like I said, talking to Perry, I get the luxury of talking to him every day now, pretty much in the off season. He's always bouncing ideas off of me, talking to Pratt, David Haynes, those guys. They're always looking for ways to improve the ball club, whether it's pitching, whether it's offense, whether it's defense. We're always looking to improve, and it's been exciting, the talks that we've had so far. So we'll see where it goes.
When it comes to spring training, who's going to kind of plan out all the whole big picture? Is it going to be your bench coach and Gibby, or who kind of is going to plan out all the different drills and workouts and everything?
Yeah, I think everybody will have their input. Obviously, we have catching guys, infield guys, outfield guys. So once we get a little closer, we'll bring everybody together to create a plan how we want to attack spring training. Who's going to be running spring training? Who's going to be coordinating spring training? But right now, I think we've had some ideas. We've been bouncing some ideas off, and I have some thoughts of what I want to do. But I also it's important to get the other coaches' feedback also and their thoughts about what they want to do, what they think we need to do to help us prepare for the season.
What's it been in I guess 6 weeks now since you got this job? I'm sure lots of people have come at you with tips and questions and things like that. Has there been any conversations that you've had since then that have really connected with something that you really like?
No, I think the past relationships that I've had with a lot of players that are married. I was talking to Stammen here a little while ago. We played together in Washington, and we were just talking about how cool it is to play, Stam, Vody, guys like that who were my teammates and are now managers. We thought it was pretty cool, and I got to play with Kotze, who's the manager with the A's, and I have a special relationship with him. So getting tips, I'm always open to try to get better. It's it's kind of a fraternity of managers, fraternity. You have relationships with these guys from playing days, from guys that have coached you before and stuff. So definitely always open to having conversations to try to get better.
Going back to Mike Trout, did you have a chance to talk to him about your possibility of him playing at WBC?
Yeah, I haven't haven't had conversations yet of who's playing or who's not playing in WBC. I'm sure those conversations are going to come up, and when they come up, we'll talk about it. But I haven't heard anything as of right now.
Do you support the idea of him playing in the WBC?
I think it's definitely a discussion. We definitely have to talk about it as a staff to feel what's the best plan moving forward for the player and for the team.
How do you feel about your center field situation right now? I know last year you had Diego kind of play there at the end, but with Mike moving up that position to right field last year, how do you kind of feel you have depth there right now?
Yeah, we definitely have some options, but like I said, we definitely are looking at other options also. Like I said, every position we're keeping our options open, seeing how we can improve the team, where can we improve the team. Obviously, Teal, his defense is incredible out there. So, he showed that last year that his defense is awesome. But at the same time, there's definitely options out there that we've got to look at to see how we can improve.
How do you see Trout and Soler splitting time as far as how much one plays DH and one's outfield?
Right. Yeah, like I said, our options are still open, right? We don't know really until the roster's set on who's going to play outfield, who's going to DH as much. And I think once we get to spring training and we kind of get a gauge on what our roster looks like, then I think those discussions are definitely going to be had. But for right now, we try to keep our options open to see, we might add somebody, we might not. And then, like I said, once we get to spring training, we'll have a better sense of what our roster looks like, and then we can kind of decide on playing time and stuff like that.
Would you like Adele to just stick in one spot?
I think the luxury of having players that can move around is definitely good. Now, is there a spot where Joe's better? Maybe, if he sticks in one spot. But like I said, having options like that and having guys play different positions definitely keeps our options open to make us a better team. And I think that at the end of the day, we got to put the best team out there that's going to help us be successful.
Contact was obviously a problem last year for the team. Struck out a lot. I mean, how much of was Anderson's kind of plan, or talks to the hitting coaches about maybe trying to get a little more contact?
Yeah, there's definitely plans. Obviously, there's definitely areas that we can get better on, whether it's contact and all these situational hitting, I guess you want to say, so to say. I think there's definitely ideas that Brady has, whether it's drills, whether it's mindset, whether it's stuff like that. So we've had conversations about how we can improve overall as an offense. We hit some homers last year, definitely hit some homers, but I guess for ways to improve our overall offensive approach, there's definitely talks about, what we can do to improve that.
So in Japan, you have roots. Your former teammates, Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout, and known as Trout-Tani.
Trout-Tani.
So how do you describe their relationship?
For me, when I played with both of them, I thought it was great. At the time, two of the best players in the world playing on the same team, and I got a chance to play with them, was a pretty unique experience and definitely special to be a part of and seen it on a daily basis. Their relationship was fun. Shohei's funny. Trout has a good time. They banter back and forth, and I feel like they push each other to get better. And I thought that was a real cool experience to witness firsthand.
In the last WBC, they faced each other.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you see it at the moment?
Well, I saw Ohtani strike Trout out. I think everybody saw that, right? But I don't think there's somebody that Ohtani wouldn't strike out. So it was a great at bat too. So I thought it was a cool thing, and I think there might have been some bragging rights there after that one. But it was great for baseball. Two of the best players in the world facing each other in the championship game of the WBC. It didn't get much better than that.
Just on that note, we're looking forward to hopefully Japan and Team US being at WBC. How do you see the teams matching up?
They're going to be both great teams. Obviously, we know Japan's history, their success, the players that they bring over whenever they come here. So against the United States and other teams too, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, it's great baseball. There's great baseball all over the world coming in to play in the tournament. I think it's great for the sport, and it's definitely for viewers, it's fun to watch.